By defunding the police, you're not planning for extended bar hours. The block by block is good for certain things, but when it comes to breaking up fights, when it comes to knives at night, defund the police now? I mean, it's the worst time to defund the police.
What could possibly go wrong? Welcome to another installment of the Connecticut Gun Bench. Today's video is brought to you by P.A.N. Firearms, LLC. P.A.N. Firearms through NRA certification, multifaceted gun training, also offering drone services and aerial photography. You can reach us at 203-300-6343 or use our website at www.panfirearmsllc.com. As always, there'll be a link in the description box below. But let's talk about this. West Hollywood, California. I always say every crazy thing that you could possibly think of starts in California and then kind of like a virus infects the rest of the country. But as you remember, we had a lot of talk and yelling and screaming about defunding the police. Well, it seems that West Hollywood has decided to do so. What they have done is reduced the police department's budget to then use that money to hire what they call ambassadors who are unarmed. What could go wrong? But let's get some context. Let's watch this here. This is from Fox 11 out in Los Angeles. Let's see what they got to say here.
Yeah, there was quite a bit of confusion. People were saying they were going to lose 5 deputies, then 4. Let me explain. In 6 months, the West Hollywood Sheriff Station will lose 2 deputies. They will lose 3 more 6 months after that. But a deputy will be reinstated in what they call the entertainment policing team. So the net loss really is 4 deputies. Watch.
It's a bad move.
This area needs to be safe. It's not safe anymore.
West Hollywood business owners, not the only ones questioning the city council's reallocation of sheriff money to the block-by-block unarmed blue-shirted security ambassadors program.
Honestly, Christina, we actually increased the public funding for our community safety division because we added 30 block-by-block ambassadors to patrol our residential streets.
But the West Hollywood Sheriff Station will lose 4 deputies, which concern neighborhood watch groups, citing the 137% increase in crime from last year.
People don't feel safe, and we wanted the sheriff's budget to be maintained or potentially even increased.
He brings up how pedestrians are being targeted after leaving restaurants in the city and the uptick in store heists. Here, surveillance video of a robbery at Giorgiano's Fine Jewelry and Watches just a few days ago.
At night is different streets. And now that the bar is going to be open till 4 o'clock.
West Hollywood approving the late bar program pending state approval. At the same meeting, they cut the deputy budget, which worries the owner of the block party, smack in the middle of 2 bars.
By defunding the police, you're not planning for extended bar hours. The block by block is good for certain things, but when it comes to breaking up fights, when it comes to knives at night, defund the police now? I mean, it's the worst time to defund the police.
Sheriff Alex Villanueva responding to losing the 4 deputies at the West Hollywood station by saying
they want to experiment with your public safety, and so they might want to start reimagining another line of work than being elected officials if they're not going to represent the wishes of their own constituents.
Now, a lot of the constituents we talked to seem to have preferred, they like the idea of the ambassadors. They really wanted to see more of them, but I think they would have preferred to wait a little bit to see how that worked out before removing deputy sheriffs. We'll have to see what happens. I'm Christina Gonzalez, live in West Hollywood. Back to you in the studio.
All right, Christina, thank you.
You saw that, you heard that. Okay, immediately, yeah, I have a million questions here. Who are these ambassadors? Who? They're going to be on each block? Great. And you heard the business owners, they're all sitting around saying, this is not a good thing. This is not a good idea. Crime is rising. Violence is rising. This is not the direction we should be going in right now. But once again, for the sake of context, Yeah, I'm mind blown by this too, trust me. I'm going to read this article here. This is from the New York Post. West Hollywood votes to defund Sheriff's Department despite soaring crime. West Hollywood has voted to slash law enforcement funding, leaving this California city famous for its bustling Sunset Strip nightlife destination with up to 5 fewer deputies on patrol, despite skyrocketing crime rates in the area. The council passed the budget with a 3-2 vote. Okay, so they just barely passed it. And apparently they have 2 people on there with some level of common sense in them, but they passed this Monday, with Mayor Lauren Meister and Councilman John Erickson voting against it. Very interesting. Meanwhile, the West Hollywood City Council approved keeping bars open until 4 a.m. and increased funding for a Russian arts festival. So they're keeping the social life more prevalent in the area and reducing the protection for it. This is going to work out, I'm telling you. The vote came just after 3 months after the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department reported that crime in West Hollywood jumped a startling 137%, wow, in February 2022 compared to the same time last year. With a public safety crisis and resident businesses and tourists expecting us to deliver, I do not think this approach, while timed out, would help the community achieve our goals of creating a safer West Hollywood, Erickson wrote in a tweet explaining why he voted to reject the budget. The trendy community of 35,000 residents, which is home to some of LA County's most buzzworthy restaurants and clubs, has recently become a destination for pickpockets. No kidding. Tuesday's council vote means that in the next 2 fiscal years, funds that were meant to pay for the salaries of 5 sheriff deputies will be funneled instead to the city's block-by-block program, which provides unarmed security ambassadors. Whew. Yeah. So they're unarmed. What kind of training do these people have? This isn't going to work out well. Prioritizing people's safety doesn't just mean people with badges and guns on the street. Council member Lindsay P. Horvath said during the meeting, we have to find another way to keep our residents safe in a way that is affordable. Oh, God. Oh, my goodness. Oh, boy. Under the new budget, the first 2 deputies were removed in 6 months, and 3 more will follow 6 months after that. But an entertainment policing team deputy will be restored. Meister, a Democrat, has been a vocal opponent of reducing the number of deputies patrolling city streets, and many local business owners and residents, as you heard, also have expressed serious concerns about public safety. Quote, I'm not going to vote for the budget if we cut the sheriff's funds, Meister said. First of all, nobody has the gun problem that we have in this country. You can't expect us to have a public safety team where most of the people aren't armed in order to defend our citizens. Mayor Pro Temp Seppi Shen countered by saying that the 30 safety ambassadors will be taking over patrol duties assigned more for the buck than sheriff's deputies. Oh my goodness. Re-imaging policies mean relocating funds. You can't just say without actually doing it, period, she said. At the same time, the council voted to increase the budget of the Russian Arts Festival by $14,000 to $50,000, reported Daily Mail. Okay. Mark this date down on a calendar. Put in, when you calendar, put an X. Write this down. I said this. Sooner or later, we're going to lose one of these people to violence. One of these ambassadors, these safety ambassadors, are going to lose their lives. Crime will increase in the area because now you've sent out the notice that, hey, by the way, we aren't going to have police officers out there. We're going to have these ambassadors out there who are going to do what exactly? What training do they have? This is insanity. It's just absolutely insane what they're trying to do here. People aren't going to feel safe. The nightlife there is going to depreciate, which means that money's going to depreciate. And usually that's what gets most of these politicians, geared up and getting paid attention, is when money starts to go downhill or their political careers are jeopardized. Then they change their tune and start to go what the people say. You heard the business owners one after another in the video. This is not a good thing. This is not a good idea. Now you're going to have people out in the streets till 4 o'clock. Crime's going to come with it. And you're not providing the correct solution to crime and that is a trained, armed police officer. You got these people riding around on bicycles. This is going to be a disaster, and it's unfortunate that you have to experiment with people's lives. But let me know what you think. As always, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. And as always, any statements of violence or statements that lead to violence will be removed. Please like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you get notified the next time the video goes live. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.